A lot of our sprinter records have been going down. Our field events, high jump, long jump, we set big school records this year already.
Hey Lions fans, welcome into another edition of the Coaches Show. We're here this week with Coach Jay Hall, our track and field coach. Coach, thanks for doing this today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. I had a good time last fall in cross country, and now it's track and field season.
Yeah. So how is that for you? I know there's some crossover in athletes, right? But let's just start there, right? What is it like? I mean, you're the coach really of 4 different sports, right? Men's, women's cross country, men's, women's track and field. So what challenges does that present for you?
Yeah, it is tough. Springtime gets a little crazy because, like in the fall, we have cross country, right? So everybody, whether it's 2 teams, men's and women's, but for the most part, we're all doing the same. When we come to practice, we show up, we're all doing the same thing. But come track season, I think Coach Freed-Hardeman had described it as a bit of a 3-ring circus because when I show up, there's basically 3 teams working out. There's the distance crew, so they're doing their own thing, guys and girls, so slightly different, but they're doing the same thing. And then I've got my sprinters, wildly different workouts they're doing compared to my distance guys. And so they're doing their stuff, and that's the 100 and 200 meter crowd and the 400 meter crowd. So even within the sprinter kind of circle, there's 2 different workouts going on because my 100 meter sprinters aren't doing the exact same things that my 400 guys are. And then so you have those 2 distinct running groups that even have it within them broken down to different sections. And then you have the throwers in the background, right? We've got my shot put, we've got discus, we have javelin guys going out there. And so so I've got those guys working on something. And then on certain days, we'll have a couple guys showing up early to get some hurdle practice in. We've got a high jumper who's going over to Chester County once a week to try to get some jumps in. We've got a long jumper who's doing his best, And so it takes a lot of prep before practice ever starts. Sending out, okay, here's what practice looks like today. We're all going to meet at this point, and when you get there, you know what to do. Because there's so much going on, they can't be waiting on, okay, well, coach, what are we doing today? Right. Because I can't talk to everybody all at one time. So it's, kudos for those guys for being self-starters and I send the practice out. When I show up, we're moving. So
yeah, because you're one coach doing all this, right?
Yeah. So I've got some great team managers helping out, helping out with some cones and jumping in, but just one coach.
You're prepping everything.
Yes.
So then that same thing has got to happen on meet day. Give us the anatomy of a track meet. What are you doing? And we don't need the specific order everybody goes in.
Yeah.
What's your life like on the day of a track meet as far as coaching all those different events?
It's definitely, I don't sit down. Track meets start at 11. The last meet we were at starts at 11 and ended at 7-ish, And so some meets are 2 days like that. Some meets are longer, some meets are shorter. But I'm over at the throwing pit in the morning and watching my throwers. When the track events start, usually around 1 o'clock, I'm basically just in the infield of it. You think of a football field with a track around it. Yeah. For warm-ups, all the runners come out to the infield to get some sprints and some jogs in. Okay. Because let's say the 800 is coming up next. About 30 minutes before your event, you may go into the infield, start warming up a little bit. So I basically just stay in the infield and see all the runners because they have to be, again, self-starters. They got to be listening to, when's the 800? When do I need to sign in?
So the meet manager is calling the events in order and announcing when each group of runners should report to a certain area. That's
exactly right. Yeah, if you've never been to a track meet, we've got an announcing PA system going on. Hey, first call for the men's 400-meter dash, sign in. Second call, and then you have an order of what things are going in. And so you, as a runner, you've got to be, even in high school to some degree, you've got to be okay, I've got to listen for my events. Where do I sign in at? And then I'm usually in the infield, so when they come out there, I'm checking in with them, how we feeling, what's the plan for this race, and let's look at the competition. Who do you want to maybe run with, or we're kind of strategizing a little bit, and then I'm just kind of also the hype guy, getting really excited for the next race, and then then they'll race, and then I'm also, whether I'm still the hype guy or maybe I'm the it's okay you still did good guy. Because then they finish a race and we're right back in the infield with them. Yeah. And so as they kind of cool down for a little bit. So it's fun. It's great. My watch usually says I track about 5 to 7 miles.
Just walking around.
Just walking back and around because, you take the 5K, it's 12 and a half laps around the track. Well, I'm trying to run and catch them, at least
two
once.
spots on the track.
But for the most part, 2 spots on the track to give splits, like, hey, this is your 200 split. This is where you're at. Hey, pick it up, draft off this guy. So it's a lot of like, the longer the event, the more coaching is going on during the race.
Right. Okay.
100-meter dash, the gun goes off, and I'm just like cheering.
Run as fast as you can.
Because there's nothing I can say within that 100-meter dash that they can correct, for the most part. So a lot of variance, a lot of difference, but it's exciting. It's fun. I mean, anybody can get behind. There's a start and a finish, and the gun goes off, and first guy across the line wins. That's pretty fun, So it's exciting. So
let's talk specific about the team here. I won't ask who's the guy on the team that is always late to those check-ins and things like that, because I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got some.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So how is the team doing? How do you feel about the season so far?
It's been good. Last year we had a just bad luck. We had terrible weather to start the season, so it just stumbled into it.
Okay, yeah.
This year we've had like perfect weather every meet, and so we feel like when we've been showing up, we've been really able to take advantage of our meets because we don't have a track. Mm-hmm. So like a meet is also like, hey, let's get some good reps in on an actual track. So we're gonna show up a day early. So I feel like this year we're maybe a couple steps ahead compared to where we were last year. So that's nice. We've hit some school records already, so that's huge.
Okay.
We've been really growing out our sprinter program, so that's been awesome. So like a lot of our sprinter records have been going down. Our field events, high jump, long jump, we set big school records this year already. So like that brings a lot of energy and excitement. So that's been really cool. So far it's really good. We're halfway through. We've done 3 meets. We've got 3 left. So far I think we've just been enjoying the fact that good weather, good meets. We've hit a lot of people have been able to hit some PRs, some personal bests. So far I'd say it's been a very encouraging season.
Okay. And then just the process of qualifying for nationals, right? There's a standard you have to hit. There's a time, and if you run that time at any point in the year, you make it.
Yeah.
And so how do we have anybody that's close? How are we doing on the national front?
Yeah, so that's exactly it, right? So there's just a line. This is what it takes to go to nationals. You don't have to, like in high school, you have to go to regionals and sectionals. You have to qualify and qualify. But yeah, at the collegiate level, it's if you can run this time, you qualify. The times are fast though, so it's pretty aggressive. It's not like, I'll just make that the first meet. So we've got one, Barrett Poe.
Okay.
He's our junior. I'd say that he might be one of the closest guys when it comes to that's within actual striking distance. He runs the steeplechase, so if you don't know what the steeplechase is, definitely YouTube or Google that is. It's a really fun event to watch. He's about 10 seconds off, which in the 3K, you can pick up on a you have a best day of your life. Barrett can make that. So we're really excited about that. We've got a few others that this year, whether they hit it or not, are making steps of maybe hitting it next year. So it's like, okay, we're making progress. Whether that happens this year or not, we feel like we're making good steps forward of like, we're going to have some people in nationals here sooner or later.
Okay.
So.
So just real quick for everybody, steeplechase, water barrier.
Yes.
A couple of very large hurdles that everybody's going over.
Yeah.
There's 10, 12 people on the track at once, all run the 3K. So
yeah, it's a weird event. You think like big, massive 4x4 wooden hurdles you have to jump over, and then randomly one of them has a 6-foot tank of water on the other side that you have to, when you jump, you land in the water. And so, then he just runs in wet socks for about 10 laps or 7 laps. So
yeah, because you're hitting that water pit every lap, right?
Yeah, even like Olympic class athletes don't land out of the water.
Yeah.
Like they still land with at least 1 foot hitting that water. So you're gonna have wet feet no matter what.
Okay. All right. So good team success. We're building stuff for next year. This weekend you're headed down to Florida. So I know you said sometimes it's a little bit crazy to coach, but you also get to go to some cool places and have some fun with different track meets, right? Yeah,
I'm really excited about that. It's our first time we're going down to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and it's a massive 2-day collegiate and high school meet. Going to be a lot of speed. It's a D2 meet, which is most of our meets are D2.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of good competition, which is great. But it's also in Daytona, Florida. Okay. So that's pretty amazing. So we're actually leaving this afternoon. We're going to get halfway down, get there the rest of this week, and so we'll be able to be at the beach Thursday night. Friday, Saturday, when it comes to just being near there. We'll probably, pop over every once in a while after the meets every day. So, yeah, really excited about that. It's going to be a great meet, really good weather it looks like. And so should be a fun trip, besides the driving there and back.
Yeah.
But,
okay. What else do you think everybody should know about the rest of the season so far? What should we look for coming up the rest of the way?
Yeah, we're really excited about our conference championship this year.
Okay.
That's in 2 weeks. We're heading out to University of Cumberland up in Kentucky. It's where our conference championship will be at. Last year just ended maybe not as strong as we wanted to. We had a tough beginning of the season. We thought we'd get on some podiums in the end, and it didn't materialize. This year, I feel like we've got a really good shot of having a few of our, if not even more, some of our athletes on the podium in the conference. And like every other sport, Mid-South Conference is pretty stacked in track.
Right.
And so I think that's what the energy is moving towards is, hey, this year is going well. We want to end well. Whether that's nationals or not, but come conference May 3rd and 4th, we want to get on that podium and get some of those top spots.
Well, and like you said, it's not like high school where winning conference qualifies for nationals.
That's right.
Those times are really hard to make, some of them.
Yeah.
So that's a way for those guys to feel success, or girls to feel success by
exactly right.
being winning the conference championship, or like you said, finishing top 3. Is that what you're saying? Podium?
Yeah. So the top 3 on the podium for the most part, right, for most events. So that's exactly right. That's still a bar to hit. Like I want to be in the top 10 in the conference. I want to be in the top 5 because we have 2 or 3 schools in our conference that will probably go to nationals, have multiple people. Yeah, at least one will go as a team, and the other 2, there's 2 or 3 that will probably still take a dozen to nationals. So it's like, hey, when we hit the podium in conference, we're feeling good about that. So, good steps forward still. So
okay. So give everybody you're on the road in Florida this week. When's conference? What are the dates of that?
Yeah, so the rest of the season, we're in Florida this weekend. We take a weekend off. We go to Sewanee. So it's a great meet up in the mountains in East Tennessee on the 18th. We'll take another week off. And then conference is a Sunday-Monday track meet, May 3rd and 4th.
Okay.
So
everybody be looking forward to that. At the end, very beginning of May, 3rd and 4th,
That's right.
For conference track meets. And hopefully you guys can have some success there and feel good about the season.
Yeah, things are going well. We're excited for the second half for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this today, Coach. Really appreciate it. And be sure to follow us on all social media channels to keep up with everything that's going on at FHU Athletics. And also check out our website, gofhulions.com. That'll do it for this edition of the Coaches Show. Go Lions.